Sunday healthy and after a performance like that?
Yeah, it felt really good. I mean, just to be finally, I felt like a couple bruises for the first time in a long time. It felt really good.
You talked about a few weeks ago when you're on the sideline and you're hurt, the phone gets real quiet. What was the phone like after the game?
Well, I had a lot of text messages and everything, which was really cool just for, the people that, have, some people I haven't heard from in a while and some people that I've been relying on a lot, through this process. And I was just really happy to hear from those people.
Can you talk about who some of those people are? You want to shout them out or anything, who you really did rely on during this time?
Well, I know she definitely wants me to shout her out as my Nana. She's the best Nana in the world. I told her I'd say that at one point in my life. But I kind of everyone, really in terms of like my family and even people from back home from Reno, Nevada. I haven't been there in so long, but to hear that, they still support me a lot means a lot to me.
The 40 points is good, but then you look back at it, going through video, how much better could it have been? And obviously, how good can this offense still get to? You almost spotted them a half and put up 40.
Yeah, I think, we definitely left some plays out there. And, for me, I felt like I definitely, left some plays out there in the first half. But I think, kind of like what I said after the game was, we're not really too worried about the 40 points. We're just worried about, how can we play our best every single week. And, I think, as us being in the first game situation, with the offense obviously and everything, we're just looking to get better every single week.
Logan had said that you felt like this momentum from Saturday carried into your Tuesday practice today. Did you feel that momentum carry? And I guess how do you take that into Saturday too?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got off to a really hot start today. I remember last week on Tuesday was definitely our worst day. We were struggling a little bit. It was pretty chaotic, but that's the kind of atmosphere that the coaches want to create on a Tuesday to make it as chaotic and as stressful as possible, so that when it comes game time that we're able to operate calmly. But I definitely I'm glad Logan mentioned that, because we felt that as an offense, and I think obviously we still have a lot of preparation to do, but I think that just kind of goes with the experience and the confidence after being able to execute in a game. We're just looking to do the same thing this week.
When you watched the film of Saturday, just what kind of stood out as you watched it back?
I think what stood out to me was, just kind of the obvious, a tale of two halves. I think, for us to really deal with some adversity, in the first half, and for us to stick together, and we really stayed pretty calm at halftime. Even we were talking to some of the defensive guys at halftime. They're shutting them out, and even some of those guys were encouraging as well. I remember me and Luke talked a little bit at halftime, and he was just making sure that hey, we're going to be okay. And I was like, yeah, man, we're okay, but we got to go out there and get after it this second half. But I was just, I think overall it's just. Really, that was just the biggest difference.
How important was it to get that touchdown on that first drive of that second half and really start off strong after halftime?
Yeah, it was huge. Usually we're used to receiving the ball, going in to start the game. So for us to, get the ball going into the second half, that was new for us. And for us to, be able to go down the field, throw together a really good drive, I really think it sparked the second half.
What did you learn from playing in the Cy-Hawk game last year and through what you've heard this year, what it's like to be a part of this rivalry?
I just know how, the more I'm, in Iowa, I just realize, how important this game is for the state. And I think, they're a really good program. They have a lot of good players, and it's a veteran group. And, I think overall, this is good. Every single time these two teams meet, it's going to be a battle. And, I think we're going to expect that, and we're looking forward to it this week.
What stands out about their secondary?
Their secondary, they have multiple all-conference players. They have, as I mentioned, they're very seasoned. They run a unique defense, and they have mastered that defense. And I think, for us to, we're going to have to play our best in order to win.
You've been a part of rivalries other places. Where does this one kind of fit in? And being part of it, the time that you have, where does it fit, and what is it like for you?
Yeah, I love this rivalry. I think, it's a completely different feel from any other rivalries, just because of, it's like your state championship, or like your high school. It reminds me of like the team that your high school rivalry. And I think it kind of brings back those feelings. So I think that's really cool. And overall, it's just an awesome game.
In terms of implementing this scheme, kind of how do things feel kind of going into week 2? I'm sure you weren't pulling out all schematic stops right away in week 1.
I mean, kind of every week's going to be different as far as, we're facing different defenses. We're going to run some stuff some weeks, we're going to run different stuff other weeks, and just based on the schematics of each play, things might be different. So I think that's really the process that we're going through right now, is figuring out which, plays, what schemes are going to work best this week.
It seemed like you got more comfortable as the game went on. Was there like a play where you felt that, like you felt like you kind of were in a rhythm?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the first half, we went on a pretty solid drive there at the end of the second quarter, and for me I remember I completed 2 balls, one to Luke on 3rd down, and then one to Reese over the middle. Those 2 balls I really felt like got my confidence going, and those throws really I felt like I was like, okay, time to go now. And I think once we were able to go from there, and then we were able to build some momentum at the end of the half, and then for obviously as a whole offense for us to find the end zone to start off the second half was huge for everyone.
The pass to Ortworth.
Go ahead.
The pass to Ortworth, how much of that was scripted and how much of that was freelance? Just adjusting to the moment. Or can you share
That was a lot of freelance. I mean, there was an original play, and that play broke down pretty fast. So, yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a natural play. I think, Ort did an unbelievable job of, he noticed that I was scrambling, and he was able to adjust his original route. And then where I put the ball, I was kind of leading him a little more inside to stack the defender, and that's exactly what he did, and he ended up making an unbelievable play.
You showed a lot of emotion after that play near the sideline.
Yeah, that one got me going. That was a fun. Yeah, plays like that, and like when the offense is running, that's, when you're able to feel the momentum, you're able to, especially feel the impact that the crowd has on the game, on, when big plays occur. That's a part of the game that we love.
How important is it mentally? Maybe we're overestimating or underestimating it, but how important in the offense is it to just see it work?
Yeah, I think that's just kind of an overall, kind of the philosophy of just game experience. I think, obviously we have a lot of older guys on this team, a lot of guys who have played a lot of football, but, every single year, every single game, whether it's the game plan, whether it's for us, it's a new system, for us to be able to see it happen on game day, that's what we work all year for.
Cade, we've talked about your confidence, here and there throughout your time here, but I just have to imagine that your confidence after being able to play a full game healthy and play that second half the way you did is just maybe at an all-time high, or even pushed forward from where it was when we talked about it before.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like a relief. I've been, really, it's been a tough 2 years for me personally, and for me to, finally be out there and, to feel like I played, the way I think I should be able to play, and to how, the impact that I feel like I can have on our offense, that felt really good. And for me to, come back Sunday morning and be able to, not have to go to the training room was a really good feeling.
What's your relationship like with Keller, and what's he meant to the quarterback, from a guy who's not far removed from his own playing days and did a lot of good stuff?
Keller is super unique. He's an awesome dude. He, he does everything he possibly can to help us out. We really appreciate him, and we understand the work that he does. I rely on Keller about a lot of things, and for him to have playing experience and really just overall life experience, he's a really good influence in our room.
You guys went hurry up or something on the first touchdown. You went to the line of scrimmage really quick. Was that something you called? How did that come about?
Yeah, so we, Coach Lester called that. And, I think just we noticed kind of the flow of the game, and, when we were able to start stacking plays, how our tempo started to pick up, and really we just stuck with it a little bit, and we mix in some hurry up plays, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but that's kind of the, the risk that you take, because you're not able to, sometimes the defense isn't fully set. But on that particular play, on our first touchdown, we were in the red zone, we ran a pretty base play, and it worked.
What can you just share about your grandmother and what makes her the best in your eyes?
Well, first of all, she's the best cook ever. She's Italian, yeah. I love my family. I love my grandparents. I've been very blessed to have an unbelievable family who's been nothing but supportive, throughout my life, and for my 2 brothers. And, the best part about season is that I get to see my family a lot more often. And, part of, traveling and, going to school away from home, the moments that I get to spend with them is special.
So what's a favorite dish she makes?
She makes cioppino and pesto gnocchi, which is my favorite.
Then in Reno, is that what she is?
So they're in outside San Francisco, so that's where my dad grew up, and when we lived in Reno, that was about just a 4-hour drive to see them.
So getting back to the tempo, Logan was talking about it earlier. Is that something, he said Coach Lester's like all about tempo. What does that mean? Is it like just the pace of practice? Is it like trying to get plays off quicker? What does that mean to you?
I think it's both. So like when we're in practice and we're trying to push the tempo, we want to get in and out of the huddle, we want to execute the play, then get back on the line, get in the huddle, and run the next one. And I think really the advantage for us in doing that, we, other than maybe one play where was a play clock an issue last week, so we were very ahead on the play clock throughout the entire game, which is also a huge advantage for everyone on the offense, because then if we need to make checks or if we need to, just the more time that we're able to see the defense before we run the play is only to our benefit.
Does the headset help in that way at all, or is it just a part of it?
Well, I think it does, just because then I don't have to take so long to look at the sideline, because the whole process of, what it used to be was basically the communication with me and Coach Lester would happen with the coaches on the sideline, and then the sideline has to communicate with me. So then we're taking multiple steps out of that process.
This rivalry means a lot to a lot of people. You're one of the few players on this team who can finish your career without a loss ever at Iowa State. Would that mean something to you?
Yeah, absolutely. That would mean a lot to me. And, for the other guys on this team who, haven't lost a game to Iowa State, that's something special. And I think, overall, when you're able to beat a team like them who's, has that level of talent and, they've had a lot of success over the years,